everyone, and how are you tonight? This is Reverend Janet Reynolds, and Blue Feather is my guide, and the program is Insight with Blue Feather. My question tonight is, what was your dream last night? Dreams are very, very important, so please know that. And if anyone has a dream that they would like to discuss with me, I would highly suggest that you call 813-814-1601. But I also know Cece, my going solo person that I work with, has a questions. So I am going to ask her to come on with the question. How does that sound?
Okay. Sounds good to me. Okay, what I wanted to ask you was, I keep having this same dream, but I mean, it's different. It's not exactly the same, but it keeps kind of telling me to write a book. And this last dream that I had, which was just the night before last, I believe it was, it actually outlined the entire book, the entire process, like exactly what I am to do to write this, to do this book. So
did you write any of it down?
No, I haven't.
No.
But it's in my head. I remember everything, because it was like it was real. And it was for some reason, there was somebody telling me that I need to write a book. And I've had people tell me that all the time, but then it went down and said, this is what you should do, and this would be a top seller. And it said exactly what I need to do to write the book.
Cece, you need to write exactly what you're supposedly to do while you remember it. Okay? When you get repeated dreams over and over, and then were they to get more and more intense, you're getting them because you're not listening. And I mean that with love. Okay? So they keep repeating the dream, and what they're doing is they've given you the outline, girl.
Yeah, this last dream I had told me exactly. It told me to break it up in particular chapters. It told me exactly. I mean, it almost shared the whole book with me.
Well,
when I woke up, I felt like, okay, I got to do this. And often, Janet, my dreams, I don't, they're so, they're like to-do dreams. I'll wake up and that I have to get this done. It's something that I know that I've got to do right away. It told me in the dream to do it, and I've got to do it. So why do I have those kind of dreams?
I think in our dreams, sweetheart, they do tell us what to do or how to do, because that's what the dream is about. Oh, maybe
you're getting
a call. Hear that?
Yeah.
Oh no, we won't worry about that phone call.
But I will put up the call-in number right here. It's 812-814-1601.
Yes. Let me just tell her. Oh, I was too late, but that's okay.
Okay.
When your dream keeps repeating, and when your dream becomes intense, can we use that word?
Mm-hmm.
Intense. And they're outlining the whole thing for you. They're doing everything for you but writing the book. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But it's because they want you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I am going to just say to you, I am going to highly suggest that you write down everything you remember, because not everybody remembers their dreams, but when they become intense, then you do remember certain parts, but then you forget. So would you please write it all down?
Will do. But I have found that because most of the times I don't remember my dreams, but the ones that I do, they're usually
Yes,
action
wait,
dreams.
1 minute. Okay. I cannot take your phone call right now. I am on a podcast. I appreciate you calling. Call me tomorrow.
Nobody wants you till you're on live.
I know. And we have to use that phone in case somebody calls me, right?
Yeah. So right there's
yes.
the phone number. The phone number is listed right there. So if anyone wants to give Janet a call, you want to talk about your dreams or anything like that. But I have found that over and over, they're more action type of dreams. They're telling me to do something.
Yeah.
And if I don't do it, then I'll have another dream that's more defined or
more
whatever.
intense.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you weren't listening and they're trying to get your attention. I cannot express enough times that dreams are so very important. I love it. I love dreams. I love teaching about dreams. So, Cece, please write it down.
Okay. When I finish tonight, I'll write it down. Now, I have another question for you. My dad dreams a lot now of his family. You know, he's older. He's 86. Mm-hmm. He's getting more, and he seems to be doing very well health-wise now. But mm-hmm. his dreams are when, he'll dream of his parents and, my mom and who have passed. Those who have passed, he tends to dream of them now. So any significance to that?
Yes, they're letting him know that they are around him. They really, really are. I will honestly say to you that I feel that they are preparing him for when he gets ready to leave and go over there. They're letting him know, I'm going to say, what to expect. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And does he talk to you about what they say or what they do, what the action is? Because action and words are very important in a dream.
I'll have to ask more. He'll just tell me that he had a dream last night about them and, that kind of thing. And a few times he's had a dream like when he was younger, flying his planes and doing those kind of things, I think that's reminiscing of when he was younger.
Yes, it is. It's memories. He's reminiscing, mm-hmm. and it's a good thing, but mm-hmm. it's also with family coming like they do, to say this to you, when family members come in and or friends that have already passed over, okay, who have even been there for maybe a year or even, let's say, for a long time, for their energy to come through and speak to us in a dream can be very challenging. That was one of the things that I was going to talk about tonight, okay. And that is called an invitation, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, what we can do is we can ask them at night when we go to sleep if they would please come in and talk to us. And that's what the invitation is about. But it's calling on a family member in particular that we want to talk to. And it doesn't make that they'll always come in, but yes, they do come through more, I feel, when we're getting ready to leave the earth plane.
Mm-hmm.
So all that makes sense to you?
Yeah.
So I would suggest to you to ask your father exactly what they're saying or what they're showing him. I will say this to you. Also, color. Color is very, very important in a dream. So see if he sees any color, okay? That will tell him something also. So now, visitation, okay? An appearance from a loved one can be called a visitation. It is also known as ADC. It's after death communication. They happen, yes, but not frequently. So he's really very fortunate that they're coming through like they are to speak to him. It's really, it's a blessing. So let me say that. When a loved one appears, it isn't really a dream. What has transpired is the sleep state has allowed the conscious mind to open further, okay? Giving you first-hand access to the spirit plane, okay? It is called a visitation, yes. It's an appearance from a loved one that can be, that it is an appearance from a loved one that can be called a visitation, yes, which we've already said 3 times, also known as ADC, after death communications, but yes, they don't happen frequently, okay? All of the visitations from family should be positive and filled with loving feelings. So that would be a good question to ask him. What kind of mood are they in? Are they happy? Are they giving them good messages? So please ask them that.
Yeah, I think it was happy. I think it was happy. I think they were all happy. Yeah.
Yeah. And see, that's important because that alone validates the dream, that the dream vision is real. Any dream that you have about your loved ones that are negative in any way, they are not visitations. So that's why it would be important to ask them if they're happy, because then we know for a fact if they're happy that it's real. Does that make sense to you? Okay, so this type of negative dream experience is simply the mind's way of working through anxiety. So were it to be negative, then perhaps it could be anxiety because of your dad's fear of leaving. Does that make sense? Okay, depending on your relationship you had with the family member in your dreams, you could be dealing with feelings of remorse, anger, abandonment, or resentment, okay? Your mind is worrying, causing negative dreams or nightmares. In reality, they hold up a mirror of your own personal challenges that you are trying to resolve. Now, that's only if it's negative. But I don't feel your dad's dreams are negative.
No, they're not negative. Something I want to share with you is that, and maybe you could answer this. When I was going through my divorce years ago, I, of course, was in the muckety muck, very sad and, upset and all that kind of stuff. And so my dreams were, kind of crazy sometimes. I was sad and whatever. But at 3:00 in the morning, it seemed like my grandmother would come to me in a dream, and I'd wake up right away, and it was 3:00 in the morning, and she would always come to me at 3:00 in the morning. What does that mean?
That's a good question, because they don't really have a time frame over there. We have the time frame, but 3:00 in the morning, that's a good question, Cece. I am honestly going to have to look that up because a 3 is communication. I'm almost sure of that, and I don't have my paperwork in front of me for that answer, but I'll look the 3 up and see what that says, and I'm sure that that's what that has to do. But they travel mainly between 2 and 4. Sometimes they can travel a little bit earlier and later in the morning, but between 2 and 4 in the morning is when they travel the most.
Yeah, because I remember I would be like sad or whatever, like whatever I was dreaming of or whatever I was thinking. But I remember she would come and it was like a comfort, right? And then I realized she was there, and then I would wake up and it was 3:00 in the morning. It was like, and it was happening a lot until I kind of got out of that funk.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of got out of that. So I thought, I'm wondering, is she truly there? And that's why I'm waking up, or what's going on with that? But I did
No,
eventually get out of that. But
I
yeah.
would say to you, she was truly there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The fact that it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I need to read what the three signifies, or the meaning of the three. I want to say communication. So
Mm-hmm.
it could very much be she was communicating with you to let you know that she was around you and helping you through the process.
Yeah, maybe, because then once I start feeling better, it didn't happen. But I have a digital clock, and I'd wake up and I look at the clock immediately, and it was always 3 on the dot, 3 on
Right.
the dot. So yeah,
Right.
so I'd be curious to see what that is. So that will be for another show.
Yes, it will. I will look that up, but I really do feel it's communication.
Yeah.
But it was her way of letting you know that she was looking out for you.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing is you saw her and you knew.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah, it
was
was comforting. Yeah, it was always a comfort. It was never, anything but that. Yeah.
no. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what she was doing. The word is comfort. She was comforting
Mm-hmm.
you. And
Yeah.
that's why she was there. Okay. Okay.
Sounds good. I
All
love
right.
this about the dreams.
I
So
think
what does it mean? How do you dream about wealth, money? Can we put ourselves in a zone of that?
well, that's another good question where dreams are concerned. But a lot of that has to do with, yes, we all want to be financially better than what we are. But the thing that is important is that we need to make it better for ourselves. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That way, financial does come to us easier. When you go to bed at night, though, you can ask them to give you a dream and ask them why or how can you make more money with what you're doing. You can ask them that question, Cece.
Yeah, I think that's why I get the action, because I always do that before I go to sleep. I always thank. I'm always very thankful, and thank them for my day and whatever. And then I always ask, what do I need to do next? What's the next? What area do I need to do? Or if I have a question, I always put it there. And then usually my answer is somewhere within my dream, or I wake up with a knowing feeling that I've got to do this. This is what I need to do for my
Well,
next step.
your book is your answer.
I know I got to do the book.
So
what I need is time to do the book.
well, okay, here's a word that they're giving me for you: schedule.
Mm-hmm.
It all has a lot to do with our schedule or scheduling. Okay. And yes, we're all moving at a very fast pace. But the fact that they told you how to put your book together, I just think that's unique.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. So that's their way of helping you to put that book together and to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I got to do it.
Yes. Well, that's what my next thing was. What did I just tell you in the very beginning? We need to make it happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know what we want, and we know that, it's not always it's not always easy. It can be a challenge, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we have to make it happen. They're telling you how. Now all you have to do is do it.
Right.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
I know.
So when you go to bed tonight, ask them to help you with your scheduling. Now, you do have a full tray, no doubt. In my mind, I know that because you're helping your dad and with everything else that you're doing. But ask them to help you to schedule better so that you can take time to write.
Yeah, definitely.
And they will tell you how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be tonight that they'll answer you, but if you ask them, the night will come when they'll answer you and you'll know. I think it's unique that you remember that much. I really do. So I would say to you to keep on that path with that, because that's really beautiful.
Yeah. Well, the book situation, the dream I've had many times, but this particular time they even showed me chapters of how it looks, how the format would look. And yeah, it was really unique, and it's something that really brings together everything I've been working on. And so
Yeah.
it's
You
yeah.
just need to do it, and I feel I've told you the story. You remember the gentleman that we used to do our talk radio with?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that, and you remember everything that transpired to make all the changes that we had to go through.
Mm-hmm.
I went to bed in September, 2 years, 3 years, it's probably been 5 years ago, because it's been 6 years. And I asked them a certain question in regards to him and what was going on around me. When I got up, I swear, Cece, I heard, "Don't do it." And when that happened, I said, "Well, what do you mean, don't do it? What are you doing telling me what to do?" And what did I just say a few minutes earlier? They don't tell us what to do. They really don't. But if you ask a direct question, you get a direct answer. So they told me not to do it. So what I did is I listened. I didn't do what I had asked the question about. And January of the following year told me it was a good thing that I didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And I did it. But the thing is, and looking back on that, I wouldn't change anything really, because I learned a lot. And so I think sometimes we go through, and I'm on a different path than you, and so go through different scenarios in our lives. We learn things.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the show I just had on with the gentleman before, and Nick Medema, he what we were talking about is really what is our takeaway from things that we do. Mm-hmm. And so I learned a lot, even that short time. So to me, whatever I spent was not money wasted. Because I learned from that, and I took that with me. But for you, it wouldn't have been an economical thing for you to do. So yeah.
No, see? So that right there.
I said, and they told you for sure. Your dreams told you.
Yes. So you could have asked the same question and got a different answer. You know that, don't you? You could have asked the same question I did, and I would have gotten my answer, but you could have gotten a totally different answer. Whereas it would have probably have said to you, "Go do it," not "Don't do it," because you did it. I didn't. So you see.
So let me ask you this: you get very direct answers when you're doing your dreams or whatever. Maybe it's because you're more in touch. But for some reason, when I have my dreams, and then I wake up with this knowing feeling of what I need to do next, or whatever it is that transpired on my dream, it's just a knowing feeling. It's not like, yes, you do this. Although the book, I think, was a little bit more in your face than most dreams that I have. But most of the time, it's just a knowing feeling, a feeling.
Well, it's not all the time that when I go to bed that I asked a very direct question. My question, Cece, was very direct. So that's why they answered me very direct. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if I had gone to bed with a different way of phrasing my sentence to them or my question, then they probably wouldn't have been as direct. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But I was very definite, because that's my personality. You know what I'm saying? That has, and I really feel Blue Feather, my guide, is also very definite and very direct about things. So I just really wanted to know.
Let me ask you, can dreams shape your life? Can they, if you really follow your dreams, can they shape your life?
I sincerely feel they can.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm going to answer your question with a yes.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody were to really pay attention to their dreams or to ask questions to help them get where they're going and do what the dream is saying to them, yes, I do feel that.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
I know
Yeah.
you're thinking. I hear you thinking.
Mm-hmm. So what about some of the negative dreams that we have? What goes on with that? You know, like when you have a negative dream or a scary dream or something like that. What does that mean?
When we have a negative and or a scary dream, it is to get our attention because we're not listening, or because of whatever situation that we are in, they are giving us, in a sense, a warning. Okay. I can give you a good example. When I started learning about dreams, which has been every bit of 25, 30 years ago, my daughter was, when I moved here, she was 4 years old. So it was a couple of years later. And it was when I was taking the class, that's what I thought was pretty special. I had a dream, and the dream was my daughter's father came into my dream, but he was the devil. He looked exactly like the devil. So, and that's perhaps how I maybe saw him, and it got my attention, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what he said to me was he was coming after my daughter. Of course, it was his daughter too, but he was coming after my daughter. And I told him to go away. And that's how you have to do it. If you have a dream that's that vivid and scary, tell him to go away. And he did, he left. But I want you to know, a couple years later, my daughter went and lived with her father because he encouraged, swayed, talked to her, however we want to say it. He got her to go to DC and live with him, but it was only for a year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was, when my daughter did, and we're going to say run away, the year that it happened, I was very involved in what I was doing as far as metaphysics was concerned. And Beverly Field was my first mentor. And she had a store, and I went to the store, and I don't cry that often, but I said to her, he has taken my daughter. My daughter is gone. And she said to me, she will be back in 1 year. Now, Beverly was, of course, a psychic and a spirit medium. And I want you to know that my daughter came back in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So, how I have looked at the dream and how I have looked at Beverly Field telling me my daughter would be back in a year, I believed every bit of it. The dream, yes, scared me, but it did happen. Spirit was letting me know that my daughter was going to leave me.
Yeah, preparing you. Mm-hmm.
Yes, there you
Mm-hmm.
go.
Yeah.
And Beverly, by gosh, God love her, told me 1 year. So when you are a psychic and or a medium,
Mm-hmm.
which for me, because of that one incident, do you know how tight I held on to that year?
Mm-hmm.
I counted the days.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, integrity is so important when given readings. And that was another thing that taught me.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make
Very
sense?
good. Yeah, very good. Another dream that my father has is he has a dream and it's about me making money, and that I'm making, he's holding my money, and there's so much money that is overflowing and falling on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep saying to him, that is an awesome dream. And I hope that comes true someday. But he says that he's holding my money and he's having to pick it up off the floor all the time because it's overflowing and going on the floor. Now that's a weird dream.
Well, it is, but let me tell you, him dreaming about you is a characteristic of you is the characteristic of your dad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it was the female side of your dad, but it was their way of letting, it had to do with him with money also, not just
Mm-hmm.
you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps it was him wanting money. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to look money up. I have a book here.
Mm-hmm.
That is my Bible. And it is The Mystical, Magical, Marvelous World of Dreams. And it's by Wilda Tanner. So let's look money up and see what.
Yeah, because he's had this dream several times.
Okay, so we're going to look money up.
But he says it's my money. It's for me. He's helping me, and he's doing things for me, like taking the money to the bank. But there's so much money that it's hard for him to hang on to the money.
Well, I would say that is his desire for you.
Oh, probably.
Yes, I would say it is definitely his desire.
Like his subconscious, right?
Yes, because he wants you to be, not that you're not already stable, but do you understand me? He wants for things to be good for you. Now, why does he want that? Not just because he's your dad, but because you do well for him. So in his mind, he wants to do well for you.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now let's look at the word money.
Yeah, let's see. Okay.
Money exchanges, bill, or statements. Okay, here we go. Money may mean material rewards for the labors of your mind and body, an exchange of energies, or could be karmic gain or debt. Okay, that's one thing. Okay. All right, so then you have money exchanges, bill, or statement. I don't think it has anything to do with that. It doesn't have anything to do with payment. I think the whole thing is it's rewards. He's trying to reward you for what you are doing. And he's doing it for money.
There you go. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
See how they do it?
Yeah. Yeah, I know that different dreams mean different things. There's like different items or whatever that takes place within the dream, and then you look it up in your book, and it can mean very different from what you perceive it to be.
That's exactly right. So how you see it and how I see it also is two different things, two different ways of looking at it. But it does it tells you where you are and what's going on. The book helps more than anything you can ever imagine.
Right.
And when I teach the class, it's really amazing how when we talk about the dream we had, how my dream, how their dream, how I saw it, and how somebody else might see it, it's really good because both views are good and it can be helpful. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would definitely write your dream down for your book, please.
Yeah, I sure will. You know, Janet, we just have to take a quick break. So I just want to let everyone know that you all are listening to the Insight with Blue Feather show with our host, Janet M. Reynolds, and you are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and we'll be right back. Okay, Janet, we're back, and just so everyone knows that you are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This is the Insight with Blue Feather show with host Janet M. Reynolds. She's a psychic and a medium. And we're talking today about what was your dream last night. So we're talking about dreams and what they mean, what you see. So anybody wants to call in, we have our phone number here. It's 813-814-1601. You're welcome to call in, ask any questions that you want. And if you need some more information about Janet, her website is bluefeather.net. So it's bluefeather.net. So you just got more information on her website. She's got blogs. She's got different things there, events and whatnot that she's doing. So go ahead and any further information, it's bluefeather.net. Okay, Janet, go on with the show.
All right. I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm going to tell you a couple things, as a matter of fact. So this will help you even more, okay? So it is why we dream. Our dreams give us ideas, solutions, and insight, and they come from our subconscious levels, particularly information about the physical body and its needs, okay? Others come from the conscious levels, miscellaneous facts, figures, and lots of information to deal with our present day problems. Most of our lessons come from the super conscious level, our God, self, or high self, to give us a greater understanding of our goals, mental spiritual growth process, and even reminders of our soul purpose for this lifetime. They're very, very important. Dreams complement us and will tell you your karma. So believe that one. The dream is about you no matter what it is. We sleep to dream and we think thoughts, but don't remember that. Dreams want you to do well. Dreams leave fast, and your last dream is a combination of all your dreams. They want you to live in the real world. And I will tell you one more time, dreams want you to do well. Difficult dreams are not instigated, they just come. Our eyes move when our eyelids are closed, and every 90 minutes equal a dream. And we do have 5 to 7 dreams a night, just so that you know, okay? If you dream a public figure or a historic character, that is what is about you. And a good example of that, Elizabeth Taylor. What does she mean to you? And then you could say, is that part of me? When you dream female characters, that is your female sign. When you dream male, that is your male sign. Yin and yang, okay? When you dream old person, that is a past trait, or if a past friend, we could be going through a situation like they did. So if you have a friend who went through quite a bit a few years ago and you are dreaming something very similar to that, it's what's going on with you, okay? Now, one thing you need to know, if you can't remember your dreams, you are probably tired, totally exhausted, especially in today's world, or your ego is not wanting you to believe. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Your ego has a lot to do with you. So what we want to do is we want to tell ego to go away. Try to very much stay in the moment and don't let ego get to you. It's very hard. It really is. I turned over 3 cards today. And as I was telling Cece, one of my cards was disruption. And I had business to do today. And I was hoping that that disruption card, which is the tower card, and everybody's fallen out of the tower, meaning total disruption no matter what you do. When I saw that card today, I was hoping that it only meant what was going on this morning. But I want you to know that that disruption went on all day. But I was able to handle the situations that arose because I have gotten quite used to the disruption card, and I very much tried to stay in the moment. Okay, I tried not to worry about what disruption could come to me today. Okay, so, and that did work. It really did. And then I have an affirmation that I say. But I'm going to say one more thing. How to make dreams a reality. The way that we make dreams a reality is positive energy. Tell universe it's there. Ask spirit a question and know they will answer. And we spoke about that earlier. Color is very, very important. I could get into that with you over and over. But I will tell you one thing, were you to see the color red. Red is definitely anger, definitely dislike something going on around you and you're angry about it. But it is also passion. So if you were to see red in a dream, it would be perhaps your passion for whatever it is that you're dreaming about. And then, of course, your visitation dream, which we already discussed, not always, but can be. Okay, not always do we get a visitation dream. So put a notebook and pen by your bed. When you wake up, lay there for a moment before you jump out of bed. That will help you to remember your dream. So there you go. So write your dream down, everyone, please. And Cece, hopefully you can hear me. Please write what you were told about your book, because that is definitely Spirit's way of helping us. Okay? Thank you so much for being on tonight. And that's meaning Cece also. But thank you for allowing me to talk to you about what I think is so very, very important, and that's dreams. So take care. And if you ever want anything, a reading, just give me a call at 813-814-1601. Thank you so much for being here tonight.